AITA for refusing to contribute to a coworker's baby shower gift when she was awful to me during my pregnancy? I work in an office with a small team, and recently, my coworkers have been collecting money for a baby shower gift for Jessica, one of my colleagues. Normally, I wouldn't think twice about contributing, but this situation is different. Jessica was absolutely awful to me when I was pregnant, and now she expects my support. When I was pregnant last year, I had a difficult time. The first trimester was especially rough. I struggled with nausea, fatigue, and dizziness. There were times when I needed to take short breaks, sit down for a few minutes, or step outside for fresh air. I always made sure my work was done. And my manager was aware of my condition, but Jessica made things miserable for me. She constantly rolled her eyes when I took breaks, made snide comments about how I was milking it, and even told me outright that I was making excuses. There were times when she would loudly complain that she had to pick up my slack, even though our manager had already adjusted my workload to ensure everything was still getting done. The worst moment was when she actually went to our manager and suggested that I was taking advantage of the situation. That led to an uncomfortable conversation with my boss where I had to defend myself, even though I was simply doing what was necessary to get through the workday while managing my pregnancy symptoms. Now, months later, Jessica is pregnant. She is having a baby shower, and our team is pitching in to get her a nice gift. Multiple coworkers approached me about contributing, just assuming I would. But I flat out refused. I have no intention of spending my money on someone who made my pregnancy so much harder than it needed to be. Some coworkers understood where I was coming from. But others said I should let it go, that holding on to resentment is petty. Word must have spread, because a few days later, Jessica confronted me in the break room. She said, "I know we didn't always get along, but I thought we could be mature about this." I couldn't believe the nerve of her. I looked her in the eye and said, "You didn't support me during my pregnancy, so I don't feel comfortable supporting you now." She got defensive immediately. She said she didn't realize how hard pregnancy was at the time and that I was making this personal. I told her that her actions had consequences, and if she was looking for sympathy, she was asking the wrong person. She stormed off, visibly upset. AITA for holding a grudge? Update. After posting my story online, I received a mix of responses. Some people completely understood my frustration, saying Jessica was now experiencing the consequences of her past behavior. Others suggested that while I had every right to feel hurt, I should consider contributing a small amount just to maintain peace at work. A few even thought I was being too vengeful and should let it go. Encouraged by those who validated my feelings, I decided to stand firm in my decision. I wasn't going to contribute. And I wasn't going to pretend everything was fine between us. However, it didn't take long for things to escalate. Word got around that I refused to donate, and it clearly reached Jessica. She was noticeably cold toward me, and I overheard her complaining to others, saying I was holding a grudge and being immature. Then, a few days later, my manager called me into her office for a meeting. My manager told me that she was aware of the tension in the office and wanted to ensure we maintained a positive work environment. She made it clear that I wasn't obligated to contribute but suggested that I try to smooth things over to avoid unnecessary workplace drama. I responded by explaining exactly why I wasn't contributing, that Jessica had made my pregnancy incredibly difficult and now expected kindness from me when she hadn't shown me any. My manager didn't push the issue further, but it was clear she just wanted everything to blow over. Final update. A few days after my meeting with my manager, I learned something ironic. Jessica was really struggling with her pregnancy. She was dealing with severe nausea, fatigue, and frequent dizziness. And guess what? She had started taking breaks, stepping away from her desk, and even requesting lighter tasks. The same things she criticized me for doing. Some coworkers who had previously taken her side began to notice the hypocrisy. One even admitted to me that they regretted not supporting me more when I needed it. Apparently, Jessica was now getting sympathy from the same people who had judged me when I was pregnant. Despite all of this, I stuck to my decision. I was civil to Jessica, but I had no intention of pretending we were suddenly on good terms. If she wanted kindness and support, she should have given it when it was my turn. At the end of the day, I still refused to contribute to her baby shower gift. Actions have consequences, and if she's only now realizing that pregnancy isn't as easy as she once claimed, that's on her, not me.